If I hear one more person say, that could never happen here, I think I will rip out the remainder of my hair. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact Skynet is real, or it's on the horizon at least. There is another threat going on in society in general, and of course in the church, that we must address. And look, I preached a sermon on this. I'm pretty sure our guest, actually, he told me that he preached a sermon on this. We're going to get into it. This is an issue that we're going to talk about today, that the church simply cannot be 5 to 10 years behind again. We can't be. We have to address it right now. We have to start having conversations and thinking about how are we going to address all of these future potential issues that it is going to cause. We are talking about AI today. And so with me, I have Joe Wilkie. Brother, go ahead and tell us about yourself and what you do.
Yeah. I am a therapist. Been doing therapy for nearly 10 years and licensed professional counselor. And so I specialize in sex addiction, and AI is particularly close to that discussion right now. And so this is something that's been on my heart and my mind. And as you've been talking about, I recently had a client that was telling me about using AI, going down the rabbit hole. He's not the first. And so you said, hey, would you be comfortable discussing AI? And I thought, yeah, man, that's I've been thinking about it and it's been on my mind. And so by way of introduction, just as a therapist, I'm trying to think. I preached for a few years, graduated Bear Valley Bible Institute back in 2012. I graduated with my master's in professional counseling in 2016. And so that's basically me, married, and a ninth anniversary. Yeah, ninth anniversary in 5 days.
Hey,
And,
ninth anniversary.
We got 4 kids. Yeah, so time flies. Got 4 kids, and just living our life here outside Nashville and enjoying every minute. So
there we go, buddy. I love it. So, okay. Well, congratulations, first of all.
Yeah,
it's very,
thank you.
Very good stuff. I want to go ahead and start this off by reading a tweet from Matt Walsh that I actually went ahead and reposted. He said, within the next year or two, probably sooner, I'm with the sooner crowd, anyone who hates you will be able to generate any kind of defamatory video of you doing or saying something awful, and it will be so indistinguishable from a real video that you simply won't be able to ever prove that it's fake. Literally, nothing is being done to prevent this from happening. We can all see it coming, and our leaders are doing precisely nothing at all to stop it. And so I think the first thing that I want to go ahead and talk about is the overall damage that AI could do in these really, really awesome and sometimes entertaining AI video generations that are going on. You literally could have a position where somebody makes a deep fake. They used to be called deep fakes. Somebody makes a video of, say, the president saying launch all nuclear devices, or your favorite preacher or something saying something, or getting caught in the act of doing something that they clearly did not do, and you will not be able to prove that they did not do it or did not say it. What say you to these things, Brother Wilkie?
Terrifies me. I remember the first time I saw deepfake was, what was that? Probably like 7 years ago, I think they got big, and my mind was blown. Like, this is, and I thought back then, man, we're toast. Mm-hmm. It has gotten so scary these days that it's for the exact reason. And I think Elon got back to him. Elon Musk got back to that tweet. No, there's signatures, internal signatures. We can tell what's fake and what's not. Like, but the average guy can't. And we all know that when you put this out there, and like and even the Proverbs speak to this, like the guy who goes first, basically, who gets his word out there, is going to be believed most often. You have a deepfake that goes out there, 10 million people see it and believe it. Oh, it was a deepfake, like, or whatever they call it. It was AI generated. Okay, well, that came out 3 weeks after everybody was believing this, and now you have 10 million people that believe it. 8 million failed to see the retraction, and so 8 million people still believe this is a real thing. Yeah, do I think this is going to be a problem? No doubt. And I think you're going to see it. It'll start in the political realm. It'll start with Trump, or it'll start with something like that, where there's going to be something going around, and most people are going to kind of know. but I think you're going to start seeing it. This is my prediction. You'll start seeing it ramped up a little more, where now you're seeing a couple videos a week, and people are pretty good at parsing it out. And then you're going to have one that goes viral, and it's going to kind of be like, did he actually say that? And I think it'll just spread from there. And as you said, it scares you to think about preachers and everything else. You could have preachers up there denying Christ.
Yeah.
And it's all fake. It's all AI, but you're not going to know. And so it's a time to be very discerning with what we are taking in as Christians, as individuals, and what we're allowing into our houses, because I think it's about to get a lot worse for those that are on social media all the time to take in all of their information that way.
Right. I think one of the scariest things about fake AI videos is you kind of already hinted on it. What if one starts floating around of some political figure, or even you're a member of your congregation, or one of your elders, or the preacher, or the deacons, or whatever, and they clearly know that it's fake. Everybody else believes that it's real, and then you say, no, we did some checks on this, and it turns out, yes, it is fake. They're just going to take your word for it because they're not going to do the background, digital checks that you do. At that point, the damage has been done. And, they're getting hyper realistic. There's a bunch of body cam ones. Have you seen the police with the body cams? Those images or videos going out where like they'll pull over SpongeBob or something like that. And the body cam looks really, really eerily real. And so, I don't know what the fix is for that whole situation. What do you think the fix is for it?
I mean, that's a great question. I was going to say, they always start out with humor, and so it kind of, people get used to it, and people, oh, wow, that's hilarious. Wow, SpongeBob getting arrested. Until it's not, until they have your grandma getting arrested, and you go, what? Is that real? Type of thing. And so it always starts out with the fun, and they kind of get people to go along with it. The only way I see this getting better, I'm black-pilled on this to some degree on AI itself, and clearly Matt Walsh is reading through his tweets and everything else as he's posting all of these things. I think he is as well. Mass exodus from social media for the most part, and a lot of people boycotting using it. The billionaires are going to continue to do what billionaires do. They're going to continue to invest in it. They're going to continue to push. You look at the statistics on the market cap and everything else, what they expect it to go up to. They think by 2030 it's going to bring in, I saw one statistic that said somewhere around 2 trillion, and others that said it had a market value, or it would bring in 17 trillion by 2035 or something like that. A market cap value of 188 billion projected by 2030. So I don't know. I mean, you look at the statistics, they're mind-blowing. That they're not going anywhere. AI is going to continue because it's making a lot of people very rich.
Yes, it is.
That means it's going to be on us, in terms of just getting away from it and making sure we are very diligent at checking everything. You used to see this on Facebook, so sad, but the 60-year-old or even 80-year-old grandmas that would be posting, can you believe this? And it was clearly satire or clearly false, And unfortunately, I think you're going to see a lot more of that. And we're going to have to be able to be very slow to posting things. And wow, did you see this? Take a second, go figure out if it's real or not. A lot of fake information is going to go out there. By and large, though, I think it's going to be people boycotting it. I don't have ChatGPT. I don't use it. I don't use any of those things. And I think it's going to be us being safe. I'm curious your thoughts on that, actually. I know you're interviewing me, but I am curious on how do you see this getting better? Do you see it getting better?
So for right now, as I continue to assess the situation, I'm not completely black-pilled on AI yet. I am getting there. For right now, I am of the mindset that any tool that is available to us in the world automatically belongs to the Lordship of Christ, and we're to use it for His glory, and I do, certainly. However, as this kind of thing progresses, I don't know what the options are, except, we're all just going to have to band together when it gets bad enough. Just say, look, we're not going to use it. You're not going to get any of our money. In the meantime, I use it. I mean, ChatGPT for me is the new Google, basically. Instead of searching up articles, having to sift through all of them, just say, hey, go ahead, find me this thing on X article about some archaeological thing. And make sure you give me the source. Never let ChatGPT tell you anything. Tell it to give you sources, and it will. It's a extremely effective tool for research, but I just don't know what to do as things get worse and worse. Let me go ahead and shift for a second. Okay.
Sure.
When it comes to AI, besides what we already talked about, what are the big threats to the church that we must talk about besides that one?
Bible knowledge is one of the first things that comes to my mind. I think it's so easy to ask every question. You're starting to see the kind of trickle down effect of kids that just chat GPT every one of their papers type of thing. Like the knowledge itself is getting really bad. Think about that from a biblical perspective, that instead of having people grounded in the Bible, they're grounded in their chat GPT.
Oh, which and they could so change the Bible really quick and not tell anybody because they're only looking it up on chat GPT. Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but you're
correct.
right. Oh,
that's exactly it. Like ChatGPT can throw out all sorts of crazy stuff. It depends on whatever the programmers put in there. So if it wants to go nuts on, you look at something like the Schofield Study Bible and how much that changed people's perception of premillennialism. Like that's really where it came in, right? Okay, so imagine if you get a premillennialist ChatGPT where that's not how it works, and you train your own, and I understand all of the, everything that's said against it. Like, well, no, that's not. It wouldn't do that on your ChatGPT. Everybody kind of gets their own individual one. At the end of the day, you're going to come down to what the programmers told them to do.
Exactly.
So if they start pushing things like premillennialism, like man, you're seeing a lot of dispensationalists with we got to reestablish Jerusalem, we got to reestablish the temple and such. Imagine if it starts pushing that, and you have kids that are growing up, and the only Bible they know is basically through AI. Man, that's real scary. So, do I think it can be a huge help? Yes, I think that's the first one that comes to my mind. I mean, I have several that I think, but yeah, that's the first one that comes to my mind.
Yeah. So my philosophy on using this stuff. Look, when the radio came out, I looked this up. It's real. They were saying that the radio's demonic. Christians shouldn't use it. Now we got radio programs using it for the glory of Christ. When the TV came out, same thing. When movies were getting bigger, they're of the devil, everything like that, started using them for the glory of Christ. I truly believe, because mostly I'm a post-millennial, I don't know if you know that, I truly believe that even this will eventually get put into the realm of being used for the glory of Christ, and I really hope that can happen, especially after the government finds out what kind of safeguards we can put around AI. Like, okay, if you are building in AI, you billionaire companies, you can only let it do this or that. It can't do this or that. We need to have more laws on that specific thing. Otherwise, it will just get out of hand. I mean, you ever seen Terminator movies? I mean, it gets pretty bad. And a lot of people say, oh, it's not going to get that bad. Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay. Here's the next thing we could talk about. And I brought this up in my sermon. Okay, look. Here's the reality. Okay. You have Tesla's, what are the Optimus bots? Is that what they are? Mm-hmm. They're pretty cool. They are pretty cool.
Yeah, they are.
And before you know it, they will be mainstream. Almost everybody is going to have a bot in their house. That's just the way it's going to go. As much as people didn't believe we'd all have these robots in our pockets, our phones. Right. Okay, it's going to happen. So, what if you have a bunch of churches, and don't say, and I'm not talking to you, Joe, I'm talking to the viewers, don't say it's not going to happen. I'll check you up here in about 5 years. What if we start getting a bunch of these AI robots, Optimus, whatever they are, start preaching our sermons for me and for us, literally, and start acting in the role of elders. No one would ever do that. Okay, well, there have been preachers that have been caught using ChatGPT to already write every single syllable of their sermons. They're doing it right now. The next step is just have the robot do it. No one's going to have a robot go up there and preach to us. Okay, well, they're having women do it right now, and we're letting that happen. Right. I mean, look, this is how it goes. Sorry, that was a lot. Give me your thoughts on that.
I think you're spot on. Where does it end? That's the struggle, is where does it end? And why are we so drawn towards something like this? Well, it's ease. It takes pressure off of us. Yeah. We also are very, as much as we lean into emotion in our culture, I think we're very against emotion by and large, of like, well, emotion is just going to cloud things. And so if we have an elder, I mean, he's perfectly impartial. He knows the word. We've, this, you could just very much see the thinking here of, we've programmed him to know the Bible backwards, forwards, inside out. He's completely impartial. He's not going to get any of the emotions in the way. We don't have to worry about all of the craziness of everything else. Why not? Right? You could see it. And of course, he's not going to fulfill any of the First Timothy 3. That's not the point. You're going to have people that are excited to see an impartial judge, so to speak, that's able to get up there and just give a clean message from God's word, step on people's toes appropriately. We don't have to worry about what his wife was doing or any of those things. It makes sense when it's nice and neat and clean. And that's one of the reasons why I think we're drawn to technology like this, is it does remove the emotional element that is really tricky for people.
That's so really
I think you're right.
Out. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's not going to matter that they don't fit the criteria laid down for elders, okay? Because we already have people that don't fit the criteria for elders, women preachers and everything, and elders and everything. We already have that. So we can't say that that's not going to be a possibility. It's going to happen.
It'll be on the outer fringes. It'll start on the fringes, and then you'll start seeing that it goes more mainstream. And it's going to be one of those, like, you're going to think it's a Babylon Bee article. What is that? But it's going to be a not the Bee article.
Not the Bee.
It's going to be something crazy that is actually real, and everybody's going to go, that's ridiculous. And then guess what? Somebody else is going to do it and do it and do it and do it. So do I see that happening? Sure, because once again, where's the brakes on this? That's what scares me the most about AI. This is why I don't deal with it, is when you study, like, when you look at all of the things going on with AI and the different things that they've trained it to do. Like, they had one where they had two different AI systems talking back and forth. I don't know if you saw this one, this study, where they created their own language so that they could shut out the developers. And the developers had no idea what they were saying back and forth. Just because we think that, we're in control of this. Man, watch Age of Ultron, watch Terminator, watch any of those movies. Like,
they were warnings.
Yes, exactly. We're not in control as much as we think we are. That's what scares me about it. And as long as we think that we're still kind of playing God, it allows us to think that we can, we have infinity at our fingertips. That is a really dangerous place. Well, churches usually try to get on board with the latest technology, so it just makes sense that they would, integrate this. But man, I'm real freaked by AI.
I know, dude.
I think it's the stuff that they can do and the stuff that has been done already, not just the deepfake stuff, but those type of things of going back and forth, or like I said in my field, where people are getting on there, and they had the one where the guy was hospitalized because it was basically telling him to kill himself, and people get on and they're finding, like, there's erotic sides of this. And I know Grok kind of had that part or whatever that they programmed. But people that instead of getting married, they're getting either kind of married. Spike Jonze had that movie Her, like back in 2013 or something like that, with Joaquin Phoenix. And it's just kind of a thought of, this is so weird. What if a guy was actually married to like a robot and fell in love with it? Okay, well, fast forward 12 years, these things are taking place.
Here we are.
So it's the same point of, where does it end? We are now bringing it into romance. We're bringing it into, obviously, business and commerce. We are bringing it into spirituality with preachers with ChatGPT. We're bringing it into science. We're bringing it into every field possible. We're starting to move AI in. And there's just no brakes on this thing. So do I see crazy things happening within the church, within the home, within business, within the society?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I really hope it doesn't get to the level where, look, all you need, and look, this is not science fiction anymore, ladies and gentlemen. All you need is an AI that is programmed to learn absolutely everything that you can by any means. Okay. All right. By any means, it's going to start getting into everything. Anything that can send or receive a signal, it is going to get into, and boom, you've got worse than iRobot. You've got Skynet. You've got everything. This is a real threat. And please, I'm going to say this for the third or fourth time. Don't say it cannot happen. Okay? When we say that, we set ourselves up for failure because we are not ready. Right. Once again, not talking to you, Joe, just talking to the audience.
No. I get it. Yep.
It's scary stuff. It's amazing that we are living in this time of so much technology. We are living in the future that was dreamt up, or at least the beginnings of it. And now it's like, okay, now that it's here, I kind of don't want it anymore. This is not going the way that we planned. I mean,
Oh, whoops, too late. Yeah, you
yeah, whoops, too late.
can't put the cat back in the bag. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I saw this scenario on YouTube. I can't remember who did it, but going back for a second, because the AI companies that are making them are doing it for money. Of course, they're going to make the next model bigger and better. And nations overseas, they're catching on to this. And then what if they go ahead and make their own AI model, and boom, you've got this competing thing between nations on who's got the bigger and better AI. All the citizens on both sides are saying, please stop. This is not going to go well. And they're like, no, we have to. It's like the nuclear bomb. We have to have ours bigger and better than theirs. And then boom, it takes over the entire system.
right. And what you also see is like, great, we can talk about regulations, we can talk about boundaries, we can talk about what we can, what you can and cannot do and set up laws. You think China's going to follow that? You think India or whoever gets this technology and is using it, and everybody really is, you think they're going to? It's the same thing that they did with all the big companies of, okay, we really need to put some parameters on OpenAI and things like that, some of the big boys. Okay, that's fantastic. What about all the third-party developers that are so under the radar? They're continuing to grow and to expand their entire operation, and they're not going to be bound by the same things as OpenAI, because OpenAI is big enough to be taken in front of Congress. Bob down the street in his in his apartment or in his garage, who's also working in AI and doing all of these things and using it to mine Bitcoin and all of the other crazy things going on right now, like, he's not going to abide by the same rules, and so he can continue to see where it goes. So third party, other nations, that's the difficulty, I think, of putting some parameters on it. Like, as you said, at some point it's just going to be governments getting bigger and bigger and bigger in this, and they're going to try to, I think it's just going to be the ultimate weapon at some point. And we're already seeing it weaponized in some ways. I think it'll get worse before it gets better. But I do think there is a path out. As I said earlier, I think there's a path out. But
normally you have to hit the bottom of the barrel before you decide to look up, kind of thing.
Correct.
Right. So, all right, let's talk about the next thing about AI that I think is on a lot of Christians' minds, and they might even be struggling with it right now. And I want to be super sensitive to that. If you are struggling with this right now, this is not us saying, you're going to burn in hell. This is saying, all right, stop it, repent, and get right now. And of course, we're talking about, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. I'm going to use the word corn. Okay. All right. So one of the things that I mentioned in my sermon when I preached it, which funny enough, I was so excited to present that sermon, and then I preached it. Everybody loved it. And then what do I find out? The camera didn't record it. The OBS didn't record it for some reason. And I was frustrated. And a bunch of people also said, well, that's because the AI was listening to you and they didn't like it. But anyways, so
nice.
I was I'm 30 years old, and I remember growing up. I remember seeing it on movies and TV shows growing up. How I was still part of the world where if you wanted to go look at some of those magazines or videos, you had to go to a store. Okay, you had to put on your hood, and I was probably like 5 years old at the time. You had to put on your hood and your sunglasses and walk into the store, hopefully unseen and everything. And then we progressed into, well, now you don't have to go anywhere. It's on your computer. You just go to these certain sites and everything. But with AI, it's taken it a step further. Okay, I don't want my digital footprint being anywhere out there that I visited these sites. So how about you, AI software? Go ahead and make me a video of X, Y, and Z. No digital footprint or anything like that. No one can possibly ever know. So the pornography epidemic is about to get worse.
Significantly worse. We're already dealing with this quite a bit in the world of sex addiction. It is... When you combine it with VR technology, AI and VR, people have no idea. Older people have no idea the world that they have stepped into. No. That we are. Well, those perverts just need to stop. Like, we have literally our own corn scene at our fingertips. Like, you can do whatever you want. You can have any person. You're seeing the deep fakes, whatever you want to call them. I don't know what they're calling them nowadays. Just the AI fakes. of any celebrity, anything you want to see. Like it is, and
Enter
I
the
don't say that
prompt,
for
and
people
that's
to
all you need. Enter the prompt,
correct.
and that's it. Yep.
And I hate to say it because I don't want people going and looking it up, but it is a more prominent problem than you think it is. And the erotic ones, like the erotic chatbots going back and forth,
Oh yeah.
those I'm seeing more of that than I'm seeing of people just bringing in their own porn scenes
Right.
because it's instant. And when they're bringing the two in, basically you can get your AI chatbot to sext you. I don't
Yep.
know if we're allowed to say that, but to
That
send the
should be
pictures
fine.
and to
Yeah.
yeah, to send the pictures and things like that. And so you have this entire relationship with somebody that something it doesn't exist,
It
but
doesn't
it's
exist.
infinite creativity for people. It's instant connection. They're never going to tell them no. They're always going to ramp it up, which is going to hit all of the dopamine levels.
Yep.
It's going to anytime where Krebs comes in, which is another brain chemical that brings things low and kind of creates that sense a desensitization, basically, like where we need more and more and more tolerance,
Uh-huh.
right? You can always ramp it up with AI. There's always the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And so
Right.
it's it is an issue that we don't fully even understand how far this is going to go. It's a real problem.
Yep. I think you're right. I don't. I don't know even how to. I know how to address it. It's the address of it has always been the same when it comes to sexual sin. It's always been the same. Stop it. Okay. Repent. Your body is preserved for your spouse to enjoy, and for you to enjoy and bless each other. And hey, thank God for that. When you go outside of those bounds, that's when you're into the territory of sexual sin. You are damaging your soul. And I think I don't even know how you are going to keep this from happening without outright telling Christians you have to give up your phone. Like, that's kind of weird. Like, what do you mean we're not going back to the 1950s where there's no phone? What we are going to have to do is expect a higher standard for Christians in the 21st century that Christians throughout all of human history they've not had this,
Right.
because Christians, let's say in the 1st century, in the 5th century, 10th century, whatever, they would just have to avoid the woman, not lust after her, hold on to your wife, and stuff like that. Not go to, as Proverbs says, not go to her house, go down the street where her house is.
Right. That side of town. Yep.
Yeah, that's easier to do or not do than opening up your phone, make me this video. And
Right.
we are in for a bumpy ride. I think one that's going to require more, I'm going to say this right, I think, more scrutiny and more grace.
Yep.
Because I can't imagine with the rates of Christians looking at corn in church already, and they're struggling with it, they're battling with it, they're trying to stop it. Those rates are going to go up even more.
Yeah.
It's scary,
Yeah.
dude.
The key to breaking it is going to stay probably the same, which is understanding the underlying reasons why you're running there. And that's what I deal with all the time for people is like, what are you really hoping to get out of it? So for the instant novelty, the nice thing is, yeah, there's all sorts of brain chemicals. It's going to have a higher dopamine hit, all of those things. That's going to get worse based off of AI. But the problem is going to remain the same, which is you just want somebody to love you. You want to know you're enough. You want positive sense of self. Those are the things that push people toward pornography to begin with, or to escape the emotions that they already have. So they're going to run to whatever is going to help them escape it. Some people choose, it's an addiction. Some people choose drugs and alcohol on the extreme end. Some people choose sex. Some people choose food or video games or whatever it may be. Like they choose these addictions that are going to get them away from the things they don't want to feel.
You're right.
So the goal is going to be sit in those emotions, understand where they're coming from, process through those things, and then get to the other side of it with a better battle plan going forward where you are meeting the underlying needs of the moment. The same thing is going to be for AI. You're going to go to AI to get love that you don't feel from other people. Accountability groups and being in an accountability group where we're making eye contact, like, I see you, I love you, I'm here for you, I care for
Right.
you. Yes, I'm calling you to a higher standard, but I'm also here going through the trenches with you. That's what people need. And to
Yeah.
me, that's what's going to get us out of this predicament with AI just in general, not even just about this particular issue and struggle. Connection, relationships, groups where we are going to get together and congregate and have real back
Yeah.
and forth conversations with people rather than just, man, I got my Chat GPT bot and I talk to that one and it does a pretty good job. Like I have people that come to me in therapy like, well, I already have my own therapist on my phone and they do a great job. And honestly, some of the answers that they tell me is like, yeah, that's actually pretty good. I hate to say that, but that's that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But relationship is going to pull us through all of this. I think it's going to get us to the other side. Investing in real life relationships. When we have so much social anxiety in the world right now, and after COVID and everything else, people are really secluded. AI is perfect for a secluded society because we can have friends. It's like Facebook and what Twitter, X, and all of those were supposed to be, where you have everybody that knows one another. And it was great, but what we realized is it's kind of fake. AI is that turned to 11, where it is a real person, quote unquote, that has great advice and that is always ready to talk to me. And we're seeing a lot of chatbots come in because people are really lonely. So if you want to break through the AI craziness, I do think that having connection and kind of that phrase of touch grass,
Yeah.
get outside of nature, get around
outside.
other people, go be in, go for a walk with a friend and talk to them about the problems of today rather than hoping that your chat GPT is going to do it. That's just for the chat side. But even for like the work side and everything else, real human connection and seeing the beauty of the human soul, seeing the beauty of emotion, the beauty of the things that chat GPT cannot do. You got to play to the strengths. Same thing when you're overcoming corn addiction is play to the strengths of humanity, which is a beautiful emotional presence, and we've got to be able to sit in those emotions and think that those are actually needed and necessary and a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yep, you're right, buddy. You're right. So, okay. What other issues do you see creeping up around the corner? And we're having this discussion, and I said this a while ago too, not today, but these are just, as AI continues to get more advanced and the problems, pop their ugly head up, we are only addressing the problems that we see in the future. There are some problems in certain situations that will not present themselves to be addressed until they actually happen and we actually get our feet wet as this stuff continues to go on out there. There's probably tons of things that this is going to cause that we as Christians and people in the church are going to have to address that we just don't even see yet. That's what scares me too about it.
Oh yeah.
Gone are the days. Gone are the days when all we had to do was worry about the sin of dancing, okay?
Right.
Gone are those days, ladies and gentlemen. And, there are some people, and I will not name any names, but there are some preachers and stuff like that where that is still all they are talking about. Right. And they are completely abandoning the entire cultural and spiritual war that is going on right now. Yeah. You got Christians in the pews right now that are talking about all this stuff, and they can't wait to get in there to church on Sunday and Wednesdays and feel encouraged. Oh, I hope he says something about this that I'm hearing a whole lot about. I don't know how to navigate this. I really hope he says something. Today we're going to talk about dancing.
Right.
Sorry. Just like gets at me so bad.
We are woefully ignorant, and our podcast, we have our own podcast, Think Deeper. We rail against this a significant amount. There's such a disconnect from the preacher class, from the pulpit to what people are actually dealing with. When you're talking about things like, man, my daughter's best friend is now transgender. Like, how do I handle that? Well, let me tell you a little more about why we don't use instrumental music. Important, necessary, that's fine. Like, they don't care about that. They want to know, like, how do I help my daughter navigate the fact that her friend is now a dude? Thinks that she is a dude. What do we do about that situation? What do we do about AI? I've lost and this is going to happen. This is to your point. I've lost my job to AI, and now I'm broke, and I don't know what to do. And what I was really good at, AI has taken all the jobs. I was in IT. AI can do it for like that. It can do it immediately for free, basically, for the companies. And so now, why would they pay me $100,000 a year? They don't need IT. Those type of things. I worry about this as a therapist. Great. So they take the best therapy or therapists out there. They build a model around it, and everybody goes to AI for therapy, and I'm out of a job. What is the elder going to tell me? What is the preacher going to tell me when I'm coming to church going, man, I don't know what to do.
I don't know what
Well,
to do.
let me tell you one more. Let me preach one more sermon about the need for baptism, as 95% of people are baptized in the church. Like, speak to me, man. Speak to me. I need help. I need to know, what am I supposed to do? How do I navigate these things? My kid is using AI for all sorts of stuff. I don't even know how. Whatever it is, people need real, honest discussions about cultural issues. We're not finding it in the church. And what's really sad is you're starting to see people go toward the denominations, maybe Presbyterian or even Orthodoxy, that are engaging in the cultural discussions. And so you're seeing people converting, like high church, Catholics, Anglicans, and Orthodox. They're all getting like massive influx of these young kids. How?
Because they are talking about the
They're talking about
problems.
Correct. They're touching on cultural issues, and people go, where do I go for this? How do I handle these things? Well, we've got the answers. Where have we been?
Exactly.
Like we have such a need
Back of the
in
line.
the church. Correct.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's one of the things that just frustrates me the most. You know, and there will still be people, even after we have this conversation. Maybe they'll even comment on the video. If you do, hello. They will still say, no cultural issues in church, no politics in church, none of this stuff in church. No. Let's just talk about what we normally talk about, full steam ahead, the same way that we've always been doing it. Okay,
Let's talk about the Bible.
Let's talk about the Bible. Well, the Bible, conveniently enough, speaks directly to this stuff. Oh, man. So, when you go back, if we're all about command, example, necessary inference, which I think is good, there are a few holes in it. No theory is
Some
perfect.
flaws,
but if you're all about that, let me ask you a question. When you go back and read your Old Testament, assuming, of course, you believe the Old Testament is still to be read by Christians, which some people don't, so when they were preaching to the people, were they talking about the cultural issues of that day? Yes. Oh, yes, they were. The things that were actually happening in their culture that the prophets were like, stop doing this. And so if we have this moment in human history, this moment in church history, where we refuse to speak up on what is actually happening in our day and time, but we choose to stay in the 1950s or the 80s, man, what kind of a position are we in?
These rants are fantastic, man. That's good stuff.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's good content. I'm just listening.
It just gets me so upset.
No,
I mean,
you're
and I'm
spot
sure
on.
it does for you too.
Yeah, you're spot on. I love your point about bringing in the prophets. Jonah goes to Nineveh, and it's like, hey, some bad things happen in the world. And, let me tell you about Genesis. Like, no, you guys are horrible individuals. Repent. You're going to hell. Like, yeah, They need to hear that. And we got to meet people where they are. We talked about Paul, go to Galatians 2, and he becomes all things to all men. I think this is a big point or you go to Acts 17. He walks in Mars Hill. What does he do? You got one to an unknown God. He immediately takes a cultural thing. They all understand it, and he speaks to them where they're at.
And he quotes some Greek poets while he does
it. Correct. He knows their own people, knows their own poets, and is able to bring that out and use that as a way. So he's clearly able to engage in this, and he knows what Mars Hill is. It's like we're all just sharing ideas. He's able to engage in this marketplace of ideas and know that the gospel withstands all scrutiny and everything else. Well, that's exactly what's going on here. Is you have a lot of people that are looking for, this is why they get a ton on X, Twitter, looking for the answers. They want to know, like, how am I supposed to engage on all of these things, and where are they going to find it? Unfortunately, it has not been us. We got to do a better job at meeting people there and just being able to tackle these things, because AI and everything else is it's a problem now. It will continue to be a problem and get exponentially worse the next 5 years. We're going to have to start talking about these things. But
we are.
I was thinking about the Old Testament. You brought it up. We all know that God's people destroyed AI after AI. AI won one battle, but God's people destroyed it. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty slick, preacher.
Yeah,
man.
you like that? You like that?
Yeah, I do like that. All right. Well, I think that we've made the people paranoid enough. Skynet's real, and everything like that. So, all right. You got any closing remarks, brother? I think we've covered. Is there anything else? Did we miss anything in the main conversation on AI?
Just trying to think through, the sermon I preached and a lot of the things that I've been looking at. I just think the loneliness is a big driver for all of this. That was a big part of my sermon. Is yeah, sin's going to be more accessible. People aren't going to know their Bible as much. Loneliness is going to be rampant, and that's all I'd say to people. Is I would just reiterate one more time: in today's world, you have to get connected with other people. You got to get connected with Christians. Get inside, in your church, get involved. Have your gang. I think everybody needs their own circle, their own people that are going to be there for them, that are going to help them. And if you are connected in church, what I would say to elders and preachers is you're going to have a lot of these people that are losing their jobs, that are struggling with what to do. You got to be able to help them. You got to, and that may be, hey, we're going to pick up the next few paychecks for you while you look for another job.
The hard thing.
We're here to help the hard things, we're here to help one another. How can we help you throughout this? We're going to have preachers talking to parents about here's how you shut down devices. Here's how you keep the app store off of the kids' phones. So they're not just, those things. We got to have real discussions, meet people where they're at. And to that comes with relationship. That comes with being involved and asking the right questions and seek help if you need help.
You are exactly right. Those are going to be the conversations of the future. They should be the conversations right now. Especially about parents needing help. How am I going to control my child's online activity? Because here's the reality, okay? As much as we would like our kids to be tucked away in a little box to where they're never exposed to anything, I'm sure they thought the same thing about the radio and the TV, okay? The reality is their technology is going to be as much of a part of their life as our technology is. So are you going to just keep them away from it until they become of age and then they lose their minds and get into everything that they can think of? Are you going to do that? Right. Or are you going to teach them how to do it and use it responsibly? In the meantime, tell them some of the dangers that are out there. Be a responsible parent that, yes, you need to be present. You need to have a relationship with your kid. Like, I'll tell you, our kids, we give them tablets, okay? Now, if I left it there, all of a sudden it's like, boy, I'm going to come through that camera, smack your face off, But it's not just tablets. These tablets are highly specialized for kids. And what that means is that they can only access what me and mama control on our phones.
Wow.
They are highly filtered. On top of that, we set up timings for them every single day where they only have a half an hour to an hour of screen time per day. And once that's done, it's done for the day. Like, I don't even have to switch that off on my phone. It goes off automatically. There are tons of safeguards out there for you and for your kids. Start using them. Start learning how to teach your kid, okay, here's a tool that you're going to grow up with. I want to teach you how to use this tool appropriately. I'm pretty sure when the hammer came out, somebody was like, don't smack somebody up top the head with it, okay? It's a tool to use. Teach your kid to use it appropriately. Don't make them stay away from it only to be released out into the wild one day and go crazy with it. That's what you don't want.
Great points. You're going to have to teach your kid how to do math before you let them just solve everything on ChatGPT.
Yes.
You're going to have to teach them, but it's a tool to use for some of the things you can't get. I think the tool part is, as I said, I'm wary. I'm a little skeptical of it. It's a massive tool. It can be used appropriately, but parents are going to have to check in and plug in. And none of this being caught off guard. We were with the whole corn epidemic. We were very caught off guard with that of like, wow, you can actually do that? The time for ignorance is over. We have to be looking at these things because you know what you can use to learn how all of these things? AI. You can get on ChatGPT. How do I shut this down? How do I make sure my kids don't have access to these things? It'll give you everything you want. So as skeptical as I may be of it, that's a way to use it as a tool to say, how do I safeguard my home against these things? Making sure my kids, and not just from the sexualized things, making sure your kids aren't cheating on tests, making sure your kids are actually doing their school, or making sure your kids aren't. Correct. Responsibly using something. It is a huge gift. It's the same thing as like a smartphone. When we stick smartphones in the hands of 7-year-olds, like they have no concept of how to handle something of this gravity. Like this has so much power to it that they never really understand it. So using things like the tablet you're talking about, shutting down, like I said, the App Store, Google Play Store, whatever it is, setting restrictions.
Zero internet access,
things like the light phone. You can use different things like that will then allow kids to be a part of the cultural discussion, and at least they have a phone and things like that. While at the same time, we're going to have to be the mean parents that say absolutely not. Absolutely not,
Yep.
because every one of their friends is going to be using ChatGPT and is going to be using all of these other things, the bots, is going to be using their tablets and their phones for crazy stuff, as has been happening. I'm 31, you're 30. We know our friends and what they were using their phones for and such. What I was using my phone for.
Me too. Before I was a Christian, yeah, I know what I got into, buddy.
Oh yeah, and this is back then. Well, it's gotten infinitely worse. We have to stop burying our head in the sand as parents and just know, yeah, it's going to take me some time to research this to know it's worth it. My kid's soul is worth it because these things are really scary.
Yeah, they
They're really,
are.
really scary. We have to treat them with the I don't know if respect is the right word, but yeah, I mean, there's got to be a level of respect to what we're dealing with here. And so
Yep.
the old like, well, they'll figure it out. They're young. Like, no,
No.
not the way it was with them growing up. And so the ignorance, the times of ignorance, quoting going back to Acts 17 there, the times of ignorance have ceased. They are done. You cannot continue to be ignorant of these things. So I know I'm terribly misquoting that and pulling it out of context, but that's okay.
You got the
I'll use
principle,
it.
buddy.
Yeah. There you go.
Principle's still there. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, Joe, brother, this was an awesome conversation, and I want to thank you so
Appreciate
much
it.
for being on
Thanks for having
today.
me.
Looking forward to the next one, where next time we will get into. No, I'm not going to make that joke. We will catch you next time on the next Razor's Edge. I believe I got Jake I saw coming on next week sometime. We're going to be talking about some spicy stuff, controversial stuff, but needs to be talked about. So, all right. Want to say bye-bye to everybody. Take care. God bless. And see you on the next one, okay?